It's a school board meeting to order. Somebody will not chair or just switch something or the other.
Switch with the.
I'll switch with the attorney who's out.
Here, I'll switch it. Did Mikey taller or something?
I'd like to welcome all of our guests, especially like to welcome Chuck Carter, our new director of schools, who's here on the front row. Well, he will be the new director of schools if he gets his contract approved tonight. And our county commissioners, we have several of the education committee members, I think, in back row. Archie Pierce, George Crosswhite, St. Ben Over, Larry Crawford, and Matt Slagle, and I guess that's Mrs. Crawford.
Yep.
Mrs. Crawford are with you, right?
Yeah.
I didn't want to have to report anything, so. At this time, we're going to stand for a moment of silence, and Mr. Spivey is going to lead us in the pledge.
Attention, salute. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Go ahead, Mr. Jones.
First on our agenda is approval of the agenda. I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda. Remember, when we're approving the agenda, you are approving the consent agenda also.
Oh, there it comes. I make that motion.
Dr. Rouse makes a motion, have a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
This time, as required by law, the first item on our agenda is the director of schools contract. The law does require that we give a 15-day notice, which we have met that notice, and it requires that anything voting concerning the contract be the first voting item on the agenda other than the agenda itself. Each of you have a copy of his contract. Mr. Carter has read the contract. He has approved the contract as it was written and given out last month, and you all have had a chance to review it, and Mr. Hull has reviewed it and given his okay on that. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve his 2-year contract as written.
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Iris makes the motion.
I'll say.
Mr. Spivey seconds the motion. Any discussion? This time, roll call. Ms. King?
Mr. Hughes,
No.
Mr. Ireson,
Yes.
Mr. Jones,
Yes.
Mr. Price,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson,
Yes.
Dr. Rouse,
Yes.
Mr. Spivey.
Yes.
The motion passes 6-1. Congratulations, Mr. Carter, and we will negotiate a starting date as soon as we can take a look at when you'll be available, and also in conference with Mr. Alkowski. So we'll get back with you on that. The board will have to approve the actual starting date. We know the official starting date will be July 1st, but should he come on board full-time before that, the board would have to approve it. The contract does allow for him to work on a daily rate of pay, which will be his contracted pay anytime between now and July the 1st. But if he officially takes over, we'll bring it back to the board as a voting item. With that, the next item on the agenda is public comments on agenda items, and I have no forms signed up for anybody to speak on the agenda item. This time, I'll turn it over to Ms. Rapkowski for communications to the board.
Well, good evening, and thank you very much. I think the first thing I'd like to draw your attention to is all these beautiful portraits and posters and artwork in our boardroom, and you'll see there's several things sitting at each board member's place. This school board, Tennessee School Board Appreciation Week was celebrated all across the state of Tennessee, January 23rd through the 29th. I want to say thank you to all of our school board members across the state of Tennessee for their tireless service and valued contributions. I especially want to thank And I would like to join our students and our schools in saying thank you to our Sullivan County School Board members. You have accepted the tremendous responsibility of ensuring the education of our youth and for leading our school district. I hope each one of you know how special you are to all of us and how much we appreciate you. Our schools have gone above and beyond this year to let you know how much they honor your service. With each student's stroke of their hands, please know they say thank you. I know you will enjoy your cards, letters, signs, treats, and most of all, our students' reflections of you. We certainly have some amazing artists who do a great job at capturing our personalities. I love seeing the pictures of us through the eyes of a child. Thank you for all you do for all the children in Sullivan County schools. And I am so appreciative of our schools and how they've come forward to say thank you to you as well. So I hope you enjoy those treats. I know that you all read your cards, you read your letters, and you post and keep your pictures. So as you leave this evening, there will be things that you take with you that's posted in front of your seat tonight. So don't leave without taking those. They're precious, and the hands that created those for you are most precious. The second item on my comments tonight is Parent-Teacher Conference Day is Monday, February the 6th. Our teachers will be in our buildings and meeting with lots of parents. Our students are not required to attend school on Monday. This evening, I believe that joining us in our audience, we may have some students who will be traveling next month on March 7th to Belmont with Dr. Palmer to SCOPE, which is the Student Congress on Policies and Education. We always take 2 juniors from Sullivan East and 2 juniors from Westridge High School. This evening, our students who are here to observe our board meeting from Sullivan East, Mr. A.J. Torbett and also Kylie Collins. Is Kylie here? Or A.J.?
AJ won't be here until next month.
A.J.'s coming next month. What about, do we have Hope Green and Reed Haas? We have either one of those here? Okay. Well, those are our 4 students who will be traveling with Dr. Palmer next month and get to spend the day at the Legislative Plaza, some part of that day via Belmont University. So we're most appreciative of their selection and their willingness to take on that challenge. Additionally, this evening I would like to recognize our Central Middle School girls basketball team. At 7 o'clock, they will be tipping off in the sectionals. They have already won 1 game at the sectionals. This is the 2nd game. They are currently sitting at 28-0. So I look forward to bringing that group in here for you all to get to honor them as well. Dr. Fields is in Pigeon Forge with the team, and he has promised to send me updates and scores. So if I interrupt our agenda at some time to let you know how they're doing, we'll do that. The next item on my agenda for this evening is a special recognition, and I'll leave my seat to do that. This evening, I'd like to ask Lindsay Chapman if she'll join me up here. How are you, Lindsay? Good. How are you? I'm very good. It's good to meet you. Thank you for being here this evening. I'm going to read an excerpt here about Ms. Chapman so that those of you here in attendance can just be in awe of this young lady and the accomplishments, not only that she's already made, but the accomplishments that I certainly see in her very near future. Lindsay Chapman is a 17-year-old junior at Westridge High School from the Rock Springs community. She has earned an opportunity valued at more than $20,000 to obtain her private pilot's license this summer. The Air Force Junior ROTC cadet has been offered a scholarship to the United States Air Force Flight Academy. She is the 4th cadet to win a place in the academy from our unit since we have merged into Westridge High School. The scholarship comes at no cost to the family. It includes transportation, lodging, meals, ground instruction, books, and flying time in an assigned aircraft. Lindsay says she will find out where she will participate in the 8-week program in early to mid-May. The training will start in either late May or early June. Her future plans include attending Middle Tennessee State University, where she hopes to major and pursue a degree in aerospace science. Her ultimate goal is to become a commercial pilot, but that's only after spending time in the Air Force as a pilot. I'd also like to invite Dawn Shaver up here to stand with her instructor at Westridge High School. We're very, very proud of the Air Force ROTC program that we have at Westridge. We're very, very proud of Lindsay and the accomplishments that she's made, and I'm going to ask Lindsay, what are the choices where you may end up going for your training?
So a few of the choices I have is Miami, Daytona Beach. There's also Liberty University in Virginia, and there's a couple more. There's lots of universities around the country.
Delta State University in Mississippi is another one.
So my next question is, are you a Top Gun fan?
Yes.
So do you like Top Gun 1 or Top Gun 2 the best?
I'm going to say the second one.
The second one? Okay, I like them both. So I'm just imagining as I'm reading this, Lindsay in that movie setting as one of those Top Gun trainees. So congratulations, and I look forward, maybe someday we're getting on a plane and you're the pilot.
Maybe.
Maybe. As a junior, it's really to be admired that someone at 17 years old has these goals that they have already set for themselves. Not only set the goals, but she is accomplishing those goals. So I applaud her. I want to ask at this time if her family will stand as well, because I know you're very, very proud of this young lady. So please stand. Thank you so much for being here this evening. Thank you for the support that you give to this young lady. Thank you, Dawn, for the support that you give to this young lady as well. And thank you for the honorable recognition that you are bringing to our school system, your school, and to yourself. Thank you very much. Pleasure. Lastly, I would also like to recognize and introduce to everyone the newest member of our staff is Mr. Justin Steffi, and I would ask that he stand. Mr. Justin Steffi is our new Transportation Safety Coordinator. He is joining this team here in the office. He has been here all week and not ran off yet, so I think we've found this one. So thank you, Justin. Justin is a graduate of Sullivan East High School, and he has gone through a significant amount of training. He comes to us from the Holston Army Ammunition Plant, where he served as a safety person there. He's been through much of the FEMA Incident Command training. He is a firefighter, among several other certifications. So, welcome, Justin.
Thank you.
Mr. Jones, that concludes my comments from the directors the appointment.
Unfinished business, we discussed this in our work session about the restricted account, the money that we have set aside from the sale of Colonial Heights Middle School, and if there's a need for further board action on that later on this year, then we will bring it back to the board, and if not, it'll be part of our budget process for next year with capital projects. Next is new business.
Under new business, item 8A is policy 4.405. That is employee development materials, which we discussed in our work session. And that is that we retain the rights to all data stored in an employee's Sullivan County Schools Google Drive. That's a new part that's added to this policy. And this policy, I am recommending adoption on first reading.
You've heard the recommendation from Mr. Rappuski. We have a motion to accept our recommendation of approving this on first reading.
I make that motion.
Dr. Rouse makes a motion, second Mr. Spivey. Any discussion? Roll call, Ms. King.
Mr. Iverson?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Dr. Rouse?
Yes.
Mr. Spivey?
Yes.
Mr. Hughes?
Yes.
Next item on the agenda is policy 5.310, vacations and holidays. This is a policy that we've done quite a bit of cleanup on. We have added a couple of sentences, one being that the vacation is awarded on July 1 of each fiscal year unless otherwise contractually approved by the board. The other sentence that we've added is the maximum amount of accrued vacation can only be a total of 2 years. For example, an employee who earns 2 weeks of vacation can only have a maximum of 4 weeks at any time. Any balance over the maximum will be lost. Any request for vacation that exceeds 10 vacation days must be approved by the director of schools. I'm asking that this policy be for review this evening. It will be back on the agenda in March, and I will be asking for approval at that time. No. The next item on the agenda is policy 5.3051, which is the Families First Coronavirus Response Act. I am requesting that we delete this policy tonight on first reading. So I ask for your approval to remove this policy.
I entertain a motion to waive the rules and approve this policy on first reading, which will delete it from there. Mr. Hughes makes the motion, Mr. Iverson seconds the motion. Any discussion? Roll call, Ms. King.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Dr. Rouse?
Yes.
Mr. Spivey?
Yes.
Mr. Hughes?
Yes.
Mr. Iverson?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
The next item on the agenda is item 8D, Sullivan Central Middle School modular unit removal. As I explained in the work session, there are 2 modular units which sit to the right of Sullivan Central Middle School. If you're looking at the middle school at the very front, we have advertised these modulars. We've tried to sell them on Gov Deals. We've tried this for over a year. We have gotten no activity. So I am requesting permission from the board that those 2 modular units be demolished over spring break, and that we remove those modular units and do away with those. And then we will utilize that space for laydown for the HVAC project, the major HVAC project that is getting ready to begin at Sullivan Central Middle School in just the next few weeks. So again, my request is for demolition of those 2 modular units and removal of the debris.
Board policy does require that the school board approve any disposition of surplus material that we cannot sell. So at this time, I entertain a motion to approve Mr. Rappuski's recommendation.
I like this.
Mr. Robinson makes the motion. Mr. Price seconds the motion. Any discussion? Roll call, Ms. King.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Dr. Rouse?
Yes.
Mr. Spivey?
Yes.
Mr. Hughes?
Yes.
Mr. Iverson?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Item 8E is for special course renewal, and this special course is Baking and Pastry Arts at Westridge High School. And I believe that each one of you have some of their product right here for you this evening. As was explained earlier in our work session by Dr. Palmer, and I thank him for that. After 3 years, we will not have to continue to approve this, but until then, it is considered for approval on an annual basis. So at this time, I'm asking for the board to approve our special course of Baking and Pastry Arts at Westridge High School.
You've heard the recommendation. Do I have a motion?
I make that motion.
Dr. Rouse makes a motion, second by Mr. Spivey. Any discussion? Roll call, Ms. King.
Dr. Rouse,
Yes.
Mr. Spivey,
Yes.
Mr. Hughes,
Yes.
Mr. Iverson,
Yes.
Mr. Jones,
Yes.
Mr. Price,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson.
Yes.
Item 8F on the agenda is merely titled Church Paving. We did get a request in regard to the church, First Christian Church, that is located adjacent to Bluff City Elementary School, with some questions about paving, since our school at Bluff City Elementary does utilize that church parking lot for paving. My request of the board, for parking, excuse me, my request of the board is that I engage in conversation and do some historical conversation with the group that submitted the letter, and just do more exploration in exactly what they're requesting, and make sure that they have the same documents that I have and the same history. So at this time, what I am requesting is just to move forward with conversation with the leadership of the church to follow up on the letter that they've submitted.
That does not require any approval, I don't think, and we do appreciate your research and all the background materials and resolutions that were passed concerning this, and should that require a vote later on, we'll bring it back to the full board for a vote. Next,
One more thing, Chairman Jones. I just want to bring to your attention a couple of things. Number one, at each one of your places is a special invitation from Mary Hughes School from their ambassadors, inviting you to come February the 23rd at 12:30 to join them for a lunch. And so I want to bring that to your attention. I also want to bring to your attention that in your email this evening, you have an invitation for February the 24th at 8:15 to have breakfast at Rock Springs Elementary. That is in addition to all the other goodies that you have at your places this evening.
Lunch, the 23rd.
Lunch is February the 23rd at 12:30 in the Mary Hughes cafeteria. And on the 24th of February at 8:15 at Rock Springs for a breakfast. And for those of you who have attended these type situations before, I know how much you've enjoyed those. And if you haven't gotten to go to one yet, if you can make it work on your calendar, it's great to have. Gives you an opportunity to just sit down in a relaxed atmosphere and actually have conversations with our students, and they'll enlighten you for sure. So, Mr. Jones, that does conclude my comments for this evening. Thank you.
thank you. Next on our agenda is public comments on non-agenda items, and I don't see anyone has signed up for that. So with that said, we'll go into my comments, and mine will be very brief. Our next board meeting will be on March the 2nd, work session at 4:30, and regular meeting at 6:30. Should there be a need for a call meeting between now and then, we would issue that with a 5-day notice. As part of my comments, I'll be attending a meeting on February the 16th in Nashville with the legislative group. At that time, I'm on the board of directors for TSBA, and we will meet that morning to talk about what we support, what we do not support, as far as the bills that have been filed. If anyone has comments related to a specific bill, if you would send me an email on that, I would appreciate it. That way I can share it with the board of directors. I think there's 18 of us on that board. If there's anyone in the audience, especially county commissioners, as you review the bills that have been passed that relate especially to education, if you have comments concerning those, whether it be pro or con against on the bills, if you would share that with me, I can share that with the other board of directors, because TSBA will take a stand on all bills related to education, either in support of or opposing those. And there's many bills out there now. Some of them actually opposite each other. Some of them are on the limits on the enrollment in a class. Others are on the third grade retention law. And then there's others related to safety in the schools and things of that nature.
Free lunch and breakfast.
Free lunch and breakfast. And I hope that everybody will be in support of that bill that's out there. So if that's not enough of a hint, send me an email saying you support that, because that's something good for our students, something good for learning. And Archie, did I recognize you a few minutes ago as being on the education committee?
Yes.
After I started talking, I thought maybe I did not.
Yes, you
And you
did.
need to keep your eyes on Ms. Crosswhite. She's already asked for some of these sweets here. So as we adjourn the meeting, guard them very carefully. At this time, we will have comments from individual board members. I'm going to start with Mr. Robinson tonight. He's always the last one.
Throw me out there. Just big thanks to the schools and the students that sent us these gifts. It's very appreciated. Good luck to Sullivan Central's basketball team. That's a big achievement to go undefeated to 28-0.
Yes, sir.
If you've ever played a sport or coached a sport, it takes a lot. It tells me that them coaches and the players all put in a lot of work. Wish them nothing but the best and safe travels.
I just recognize and congratulate Mr. Carter. Say we look forward to working with you. You got bigger shoes to fill than I think any one person could, but I know Evelyn will be around too, but we look forward to that. And then thank all the students and the teachers that probably might have helped prod them along a little bit to get this stuff to us. It's one of my favorite times. I like the pictures the best, and my kids really like looking at them. And then I'll go ahead and apologize in advance. I won't be able to make the 23rd or 24th. I'll let the people know I'll be out of town, but it is great to get in the classroom with the kids and remind you why, what's so beautiful about public education. It makes all of this worth it. So, thanks.
Mr. Bryce.
Congratulations, Mr. Carter. Glad you're on board. Thanks to everybody that contributed to all these gifts that are up here. We really appreciate it. Echo what Mr. Robinson said. Good luck to Central. They haven't tipped off yet. My daughter's down there cheerleading, and they have to run behind, so they haven't started yet. So maybe I can get home and live stream it. Good ball team. Congratulations to Central.
Mr. Harrison.
Just echo, congratulations, Mr. Carter. I'm looking forward to it. And just want to really sit back and thank, the Education Committee was just put together this week, and to have every member here for that, it sends a really good signal. Thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you for taking the time to do that. To sit back and see all this at the schools today, like Mr. Spivey said, this is my favorite time. To sit back and see what I look like to other people is scary, but I kind of like it. So, but that's it, and good luck to Central Winston.
Mr. Harrison, I apologize for not recognizing you as chairman of the Education Committee, but
Thank you. Looking forward to it.
Dr. Raston.
I just as well want to echo what everybody else has said. Welcome, Mr. Carter. Those shoes are big, but you'll grow right into them, I'm sure. I'd like to thank the principals, the teachers, and the students for all of this. And yes, I don't remember who said it, if it was Spivey or Mr. Price. But yes, thank you extra to those teachers who gave up class time and prodded those students along to do these things. It is a highlight And the little that we do as a board is truly just a snippet of what goes on in that classroom with the teachers and with the principals. We are here to support you, but it is nice to be recognized, but truly we are here to support the teachers and the principals.
Mr. Hughes?
I'd like to congratulate a couple of our Westridge swimmers. Avery Pageant and Madison Johnson both qualified for 2 events at the state meet, and both made second. One made second team all conference, and the other made third. So, congratulations to those 2 students, and hopefully we can have them here for one meeting.
We're looking to have them here in March.
Well, the other thing I'd like to mention, I'd like to ask the director and Ingrid if we have ever received the detail for the $370 or some odd $1,000 for accounting.
I have
that we
received no
spent.
information.
You have not? Mark, can you help us get that?
I'll look into that.
I mean, that's the 3rd or 4th time I've asked it.
I actually have that in my notes. But you brought it up.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman. Thanks very much.
Thank you, and thanks to all of the students and teachers who worked with them to do all these posters, the artwork, and sweet gifts here, Ms. Crosswhite. We want to enjoy those. Mr. Carter, if you haven't changed your mind, you'll need to sign the contract before you leave tonight. And we'll get the legal process started. There is a requirement that we do a criminal background check, and I might, Ms. Deloach, to make sure that she gets with you and gives you the code number that you'll need on that. But other than that, I think we've got all the requirements that we need to fulfill the contract. If there's nothing further, we stand adjourned.